And again, good afternoon. My name is Valerie Borak, and I will be presenting the webinar today. There is my lovely picture so that you know who is talking to you. I'm the account manager here at Plumbline Consulting, so any questions you have on any of our products, you can feel free to reach out to me at any time or reach out to your SL partner. Plumbline Consulting has been around for over 25 years. If you didn't know, we're headquartered in Findlay, Ohio. We have over 100 add-on products for Dynamics SL. I'm going to be showing 4 of those today. But all of our products were created using the same tools that were used to create Dynamics SL. So they seamlessly integrate with your SL system. They're going to sit on your menus. They're going to have the same lookup features, the same security features. They use crystal reports, and our products are actually licensed by your SL ID number, not by your user count. So with that being said, today the 4 products that you are going to see is one of our newly released products. This is our one-time vendor product. It's $2,500, and all of our products have a 19% maintenance plan for the first year and 17% after that. The next product I'm going to show you is voucher to credit card, then prepaid processor, and last the AP vendor multi-remit product. With that, I'm going to get out of the slideshow and bring up our actual demo system. So with the products, let's see, here we go. We're going to start out with one-time vendor. Now, one-time vendor doesn't actually have its own item on your menu. It's actually going to sit on your within your financial menu within accounts payable. There will be screens that add into the product. Now, one-time vendor was created so that instead of having to create a vendor every time you need a single vendor to make a payment to a single vendor in SL, you're able to go in and create this one-time vendor and then create as many different vendors or remit payment to as many different vendors under that one-time vendor without having to create multiple vendors in SL that you're never going to use again. So again, instead of creating a vendor every time for something that you're never going to use again, we have your one-time vendor product. So one-time vendor has a setup screen, and within it you're going to set up what your one-time vendor ID is going to be, and this is going to call up the product once you're in your voucher and adjustment screen. So whatever that one-time vendor ID is going to be, and then there's also some display options on the second tab as to what information you want to populate in the one-time vendor screen. So it's very simple to set up. We do have some classes. You can create one-time vendor classes, and this gives you just the ability to say, give me all the one-time vendors that I've spent money on for food or travel, construction, whatever one-time vendor categories or classes you want to create. You can do so here, and then it just gives you an additional reporting capability. Then we also have the one-time vendor lookup, which will allow you to see all of the one-time vendors you've created, and by batch you can see the transactions that were created for that. So within your voucher and adjustment screen, how you call up the one-time vendor is you're going to just F3 in your vendor ID. You're going to pull up your one-time vendor ID. And what will happen once you do that is this one-time vendor button will generate. And what you will do from here is you can click the one-time vendor button and create the information that you want to print on your check or your payment. So you would put their information in here and click OK. And from there, that information will follow through on this voucher through the payment process, through the payment selection and check creation process. So it's very simple to use. If you have an issue with creating multiple one-time vendors within your system and you'd like to not have to do that, one-time vendor is for you. So that is one-time vendor. Next product I'm going to show you today is our prepaid processor module. Now, if any of you are tracking your prepaids on a spreadsheet and going in on a monthly basis and posting your credits and debits for your prepaids. This product will take all of those processes away. What you can do from Prepaids Processor is either from the prepaid screen or directly from the voucher and adjustment screen, you're going to create a prepaid, starting with a prepaid code, giving it a description, putting in the amount, how you want it distributed, whether you want it automatically distributed or manually distributed, putting in your period range in which you want the transactions distributed over. And I'm going to pick one here for you. Then you can come down here and you can say, you can break this amount up either by amount or percentage. So if you want a percentage to be broken up over these periods, you could choose percentage or you could choose amount. You can also put in to have it broken up over multiple companies, multiple accounts, sub-accounts, projects, and tasks. So you come in here and you fill in all this information. Now granted, if you can fill it in manually from this screen, or if you go back to your financials and you go back to your voucher and adjustment screen, if you pull up a voucher or you're creating a voucher for a transaction, you can then populate the prepaid grid directly from the voucher and adjustment screen. The only caveat to this is you have to have Customization Manager for this screen to be able to populate from your voucher and adjustment screen. From here, it would fill in information that is in the voucher, so your AP reference number, the amount. You could then go in and create the code and put in the accounts and sub-accounts for your credits and debits. Now, one thing people always ask about prepaid processor is, once you've created it, then what? Well, once you've created it, you save it, and then from there, you would go into the Prepaids Processor screen, and it's a very easy process. Pull up your company, pull up your period, and hit process. And what the system will do from there is go through and look for any prepaid that is due to be posted within this period, and it will process the transactions. Now, you can do one of two things. You can have it process and create a batch and hold, or you can come in here and have the batch release automatically just by checking the box. Either way, it's going to go through and it's going to look for any prepaid that needs to be posted to that period, and it's going to create the transactions and post for you. Now, something people also ask about this product is, what if I want to change the prepaid? Well, you can change the prepaid until your first transaction has processed, okay? Once this prepaid has not had anything processed yet, and you can see all the information can be changed. If the prepayment has already been processed, you would see the transactions down in this box down at the bottom, and then that way, from there, you would not be able to change the prepaid. You would have to hit this auto full prorate, close the prepaid, and either create a new one, or actually, yes, you would just have to create a new one. So that's what happens if you need to change your prepaid after it's been processed. If it hasn't been processed, you're more than welcome to change it. Now, another nice feature the product has are some report capabilities. We have an expense forecaster, so you can come in here and you can forecast your prepaids for a monthly range if you just want to see this month's prepaids, if you want to see quarterly, or if you want to see yearly for budgeting purposes. We also have some reports for you. You can see prepaids by current balances, or let me see, here you go. So I'll pull this one up for you. This you can see by detail or summary, and just hit the print preview. And again, our products use crystal reports. So this is the prepaid with current balances detail report. So you can see your prepaids with the detail and their current balances. You can also see a report of just all the prepaids in the system. So that, and again, this is a crystal report. So I'm going to just pull up this one for you so you can see what that one has to offer. And then if you want any more information on any of the products that I'm showing you today, I can send you the user guide that has copies of all the reports and the functionality within the product. So after prepaids, I was going to show you today voucher to credit card. So voucher to credit card was created for companies who were going to start paying their bills using a credit card. This is something that's happening a lot if you're using, say, an American Express that gives you cash back or a percentage back on any of your purchases or transactions done with a card. Some banks are doing this. So if you want to start using it, that puts in a whole nother set of processes or a set of transactions that you got to create within Dynamics SL. Voucher to credit card was created to help you with those transactions. So we did a couple things for voucher to credit card. The first thing we did is we created a master credit card table, and you can come in here and create all the different credit cards that you're going to be paying your bills with. You can also give them a check identifier so that you're able to see what in your in the transaction, since you can't say specific paid by specific credit card in SL, we've decided to use a check identifier so you could identify which credit card you paid those transactions with. So this is a nice way to do that. You can also go through the system and tag any vendor that you know, that say you have 15 vendors that you pay with your Amex. You could go in and tag Amex to those 15 vendors, and then that way you have the capability of sorting and selecting payments based on what credit card you're trying to generate a voucher for. So the voucher to credit card screen looks like this, and what you're able to do is you can search by batches, by reference number, by vendor ID, or by that credit card code. And what you're doing is you're looking for any vouchers in your system that you want to pay with your credit card. And you're going to say you're going to pay it with your Discover card. So any voucher that I'm going to pay with my Discover card, I can load it by a period range. If I knew a specific reference number, say I just wanted to pay all of my vouchers for a specific vendor, I could do that here. And then you choose your selection, and let's see what we have here, and we're going to hit load grid. So we have some transactions out there that we could choose from. Now you could come here and say I want to add a couple more things to this, and you could go out to add grid and either choose another vendor or reference number to load to the grid. You can put in your description here for the voucher that's going to be created for the credit card company, and then you select the vouchers that you want to pay with your Discover card. Now, from this process, you're going to come down here and you're going to put your period you want these transactions to post to, and you're going to hit create a voucher. So what's going to happen is there's going to be various documents the various documents that are selected are paid via a zero balance check process in conjunction with the creation of the voucher to the Discover card. So you're going to get that credit memo, you're going to get a zero check for each of the line items in the grid, and then you're going to get that voucher to the credit card company so that you can pay it for the sum of everything in the grid. Now, if say you are using an Amex where they want you to upload all your transactions that need to be paid with the credit card, you can do that. You can go into the setup screen and select the option to create separate vouchers for each transaction line instead of the sum of everything in the grid for the credit card company. And you can also export the transactions to a CSV file that you can then import or upload to your credit card or bank statement, which is a lot of times the process. If you don't use as export to CSV, the system is going to create that voucher or multiple vouchers, depending on your options, to the Discover card. You then actually have to go out and pay the Discover card. The system is not doing anything outside of SL. It's just creating the transactions within SL to make your life easier. So that again is a voucher to credit card, and if you're starting to pay your bills with a credit card or you have been and this is a painful process for you, this product should help you make your life easier. Then the last product I'm going to show you today is our vendor multi-remit. Now our vendor multi-remit, if this is something that might be painful for you, you know within SL you can only have one remittance address per vendor. And that becomes a problem for some people who have multiple remittance addresses or multiple different locations that they need to send payments to for one vendor. What we did was create the vendor address table, and what you do is you come in here and you choose your vendor in SL. And from there, you can create multiple address codes for that vendor. So you can come in, and I'll choose this one, and you can see the name would be Mary Foster. I've put in an address that this would go to, and you can also put attention Mary Foster. Oh. Then from here, once you've created your vendors with any of the different address codes you need, you would then need to have customization manager again, and in your financial module in the accounts payable, on your voucher and adjustment screen, you're going to have another button that comes up with this, or another field that comes up with the vendor address, and you can see how it's defaulting there. When I come in here and I choose a vendor that has multiple addresses set up, when I F3 in the address code, I would then see the different address codes I have, and I could then choose the remittance address I need this voucher to go to under the vendor ID. Now, as you can see, the remittance address here has changed. Now, also what happens is there's a slight change in your payment selection process. You will then choose, let's see here, you then are going to choose in payment selection, if you've chosen a vendor that's set up with we're going to go with a reference number there, and I'm going to choose a reference number for the vendor that I know. And let's see here. So once you choose that and you hit begin your process, once you hit OK, this process group checks button will appear. What happens from here is this process will then go and group the checks by the different remittance addresses for you, and then you follow the standard check process from there. Once you have hit the process button, you cannot hit the preview button from this screen because of this process group checks. So all you would then do is hit process group checks, and if it would batch the checks together and then you would just follow your regular check printing process from there. So this is your vendor multi-remit product. Again, the three of those products, the one-time vendor, the prepaids processor, and actually all four of those products need to have customization manager to be able to use some of the functionality that occurs in the main SL screens. So with that, I will open the floor to any questions. You can put your questions in the question box or the question box, and let's see what we have here. I just made my question box small. Hold on one second. And let's see. Let's see if I just have a slight problem with the view. Let's see, attendees. All right. Here we go. Does the one-time vendor and AP vendor multi-remit work with transaction import? Leanne, I will have to get some more information about that. I guess it's based on what transactions you're bringing in and posting those transactions to. So I will get a little bit more information from you on that and see if I can get you an answer, because offhand I do not know. And Terry says, does vendor multi-remit allow for automatic entry of multiple addresses on a single vendor, or do you always need to manually choose the address code? It has a default. You can choose the address that you want to default for that vendor, and then if you wanted to change that defaulted address, you would have to manually change it. There's so it does have a default that you can choose, and then you have to you have to manually choose the additional address when it applies. And then, is there a way to see the check ID using the vendor multi-remit product before the checks are actually issued? Before the checks are actually issued, the payment process happens, and then you follow your standard check procedures. So if you could see your check ID beforehand, you should still be able to, but Michelle, I can get you some more information on the check process for vendor multi-remit, as I am not very versed in what happens after you choose that, the begin process, or after the begin processing in the vendor multi-remit screen. So I can get you some more information on what happens there. Currently use workflow system with RecLogic to handle AP workflow before payment transfers to SL. Can you choose the specific remittance address for a vendor in a product like RecLogic, or only when your payment is in SL? Only when your payment is in SL will it work. So the payment has to come over into SL, and then you could change the multi-remit. It does not work. I don't think there's any integration with RecLogic, so the payment has to be in SL, Leanne. Any other questions? So I'm going to make note. Leanne, I will send you some more information on the vendor multi-remit, and as well as it looks like everybody had questions on that, so I can send out that user guide so you guys can take a look at that, as well as the catalog for any of the other products, or for all of our other products, in case there's something else you want to see, or in case you have more or want more information. I would be happy to help you with that. So let's just check one more time to make sure I answered everybody's question. I can also send out the information on one-time vendor for you, Terry. And I think I answered everybody's questions. So if you don't have any other questions right now, I'm going to tell you that you can reach out to me at any time. My email address is vborak, B-O-R-A-K, @plumblineconsulting.com. You can also reach out to sales@plumblineconsulting.com. And or you can reach out to your SL partner, as they all have my contact information and would be happy to help you. Thank you so much for your time today and for attending our webinar, and I look forward to talking to you guys again in the future. Have a wonderful day.